today I would do a short video on who can use the spatial tools. As coaches, we want to find tools that are the appropriate fit for our clients. In my experience, spatial tools can be used by a large variety of people. Uh, it can be, of course, used by adults, can also be used by couples. You can, if you're doing couples work, you can use spatial tools first, initially, maybe, separately to check for some issues. And then you can also notice how each of them are perceiving the other and work through that spatially. There is a lovely process that Dr. Lucas Dirks has developed called as a negotiation panorama, in which some of the intense feelings that couples may have for each other can be worked through spatially. So, so you can use it for, relationship issues. You can use for couples. You can use for young children. Children are some of my favorite clients, and they come with none of the nonsense. They're ready to play, and ideally, anybody who is very willing to play does this process very smoothly and easily. So with children, you need to get into a game mode. You just need to get them to imagine and they'll play with you. It's just a drama that you need to create, and they'll tell you. If there is somebody that they are afraid of, they will point that person out in some direction. If there is something that they are wanting, that they will point out very clearly, and they'll move things. You can use dolls and puppets. You can also use art with them. They draw very clearly, and they represent, most of the drawings that children do. If you just were to study them, they tell you so much, because spatially they would have located the significant adults very clearly. They would have also imaged themselves in that. They would have talked about what's the background, what is that they desire. A lot of things. You can just study the drawings and you can get that information. And basically, if you get them to draw and ask them various questions and they draw it out, they will tell you very spatially who is close to who and how are they feeling about it. All of that information will come out. It just has to be done very gently and smoothly, and you just talk to them in a gentle voice and play with them. They're very, very good at working with spatial tools. Uh, those who are not great talkers, they wouldn't share much. In a coaching session or a therapy session, they'll be quiet. Tend to do very well with the spatial tools, because, and especially if you say, I don't need to know all of the pieces, you figure it out yourself. I'll just nudge you in this direction, just facilitate the session. They become engaged and they work with it really well, especially if they have to move around space, and maybe with a chit of paper or with some token of some kind. They figure it out. They just know and they figure it out. And so for those who consider themselves as introvert, or folks who are more guarded about their sharing, this is a very quiet, inward way for them to work through things. You can also use it with folks who may be speaking another language. As long as you have few words here and there, if you can get some phrases in place, and there is rapport. I mean, rapport is so important. I have had a lot of, in South Asia especially, you will have clients with so many different languages, and not everybody is comfortable in English, and a lot of people are comfortable in their native tongues, or You will also have people from other parts of the country being in your city coming to seek help from you. And English or your state language is not an appropriate medium. As long as you know some smattering of some phrases, it's very easy. Once they connect with something in space and you just leave them to work it out, they do the work really, really well. I have had quite a bit of good fortune in working with such clients. Uh, the one area that perhaps you may have to be a little careful about is folks who use the entire whole brain, whole body kind of thinking, which means their right brain is active. They not only get into the spatial process very easily, but they will describe it very vividly. And they will engage with it. It's just very quick, and they will also figure out creative ways to resolve something, or to find a new insight, or to cross apply. They tend to take a lot of ownership in the process, and they work through. Uh, with such folks, it's very smooth, and it's a lot of delight to work with them when things are moving this smoothly. However, I will hope you would be careful that there is a difference between them recognizing the location of a person or an object or an activity versus the memory of a person or an activity. So they would be describing sometimes the memory, and it's up to you to recognize, okay, so how are you seeing all these things? Oh, that was the last time I did that. Oh, this is where I usually keep things. So we are wanting to see how they are representing the person or an issue or the activity. We are not interested in working the memory exactly in the spatial process. So you may want to check with that. Also, with such people, folks who are that vivid and very, may want to notice the habits of perception. They will have similar ways of noticing some things and similar ways of resolving. And as a coach, it would be great if you can notice this repeating pattern and nudge them. And they're very creative, so they will find out another way, and that can be a breakthrough in the larger ecology of how they do things and perceive the world. Then there is this other set of people who, um, uh, for a lack of better words, tend to be more left-brained. Um, it's wonderful that they are logical and they have a strong direction, but there is a strong sense of being only left brain, and so the larger abilities of the whole brain is often not used. Um, in such cases, even if they do a process, they may be a little cautious. Oh, did I get that right? Was I doing it correctly? Did I do something wrong? And they may want to approach you and express concern. They may come back next session. I think I did not do it correctly and something else happened. Maybe um maybe this is not an appropriate process. How do I know this is real? How do I know it is affecting? Those kind of questions may come. Now, for such clients, I often help them become a little more looser in how they are perceiving a process, with, say, doing more of artwork, recommending dance, music, nature walks, so that more of their whole brain is activated for them to be able to. I wouldn't rush in with a spatial process directly. I tend to wait. Um, so that would be the only particular area. Uh, Otherwise, most folks can work with spatial tools very easily. Even those who cannot move much, um, within the limited scope of movement, even if they can move their hands or feel it, um, as long as you can represent it in some board or a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, or just put in some papers right on the table in front of them. There are many alternate ways for them to work spatially, even if their mobility is restricted. The other set of folks who will benefit tremendously are folks who have experienced significant emotional events in their life. Once again, I wouldn't recommend going into a therapy session directly at the first go. Just want to warm them up and become more comfortable noticing things and getting small delights from being able to resolve the lesser issues, or hierarchically lesser issues, so that there is more confidence built up as feedback into the system for them to go about working with it. So I hope this will maybe make you curious about spatial tools. In this channel, the Mental Space Academy India channel, you will have playlists. We have a number of interviews of Dr. Lucas Dirks and members of the SMSP board. We also have playlists about various change work processes. Please go through them. They are valuable resources. And if you are curious or you're interested in learning about something else, please share in a comment below the YouTube, and please like and subscribe just below, so that I can produce more videos and support your coaching process. I hope you have a wonderful time experiencing your space and more insights.